Why they keep coming back to you. No matter what, my beloved child, stop for a moment. This is not a coincidence. If these words have found you right now, something hidden is being revealed in your life. You were meant to hear this. The universe has been quietly aligning moments, guiding souls, and opening unseen doors just to bring you here. There is something sacred about your energy, something rare, something deeply magnetic. And even when you try to move forward, even when you distance yourself, even when silence fills the space, they feel it. They remember it. They return to it. This is the hidden truth behind why they keep coming back to you. No matter what, asterisk asterisk. It's not chance. It's not confusion. It's because your soul carries a frequency that touches others in ways they cannot explain. You awaken something inside them, something they cannot replace, no matter how far they go or how much they try to forget. You may have questioned your worth, wondered why cycles repeat, but what if this is not about repetition, but recognition? Their spirit recognizes yours. And even when their mind resists, their soul finds its way back. Right now, the universe wants you to see this clearly. You are not meant to chase, to prove, or to shrink. You are meant to stand in your light and understand your divine value. What is meant for you will always be drawn back, not out of need, but out of truth. So take this as your confirmation. You are seen. You are chosen. And something powerful is unfolding in your favor. If this message resonates with your soul, don't ignore it. Like, share, and subscribe, and watch this video till the end, because the next part may reveal exactly what your heart has been waiting to understand. Did you know there's a possible image of your real soulmate that you can look at right now? It might be someone you know or someone you haven't met yet. It's amazing how accurate these have been. You have to see the photo to see what I mean. Click the link in the description to get your soulmate sketch. They wonder why, even after distance, silence, or endings that seem final, they find their way back to you. You have asked this question in quiet moments, when the world slows and your thoughts grow louder than your surroundings. You have searched for logical explanations, replayed memories, examined your actions, but still, the answer feels just beyond your reach. So now, be still, and listen closely, for I will reveal what your heart has long sensed but your mind has struggled to understand. I am the whisper beneath your thoughts, the presence you feel when you are alone but not lonely. I see the threads that connect every soul, threads that do not break when words are spoken or when paths appear to diverge. What you call coming back is not coincidence, nor weakness, nor unfinished business in the way you have defined it. It is alignment. It is resonance. It is the quiet pull of energies that have recognized each other long before your conscious mind gave it meaning. You carry something within you that cannot be easily replaced. It is not merely your kindness, though it is deep. It is not only your strength, though it has carried you through storms unseen by others. It is something more ancient, more subtle, a frequency of presence that touches people in ways they do not fully understand. When others encounter you, a part of them awakens. And once awakened, it cannot fully return to sleep. That is why they leave, and why they return. Do not misunderstand this. Their leaving was never a sign that you were not enough. Nor was it proof that what existed between you lacked truth. Sometimes, souls step away not because the connection is false, but because it is too real for where they currently stand. Growth often requires distance. Reflection often requires silence. And recognition sometimes only comes after absence has made space for clarity. When they walk away from you, they carry a quiet echo of what they felt in your presence. They try to move forward, to immerse themselves in distractions, in new faces, in different paths. Yet something feels incomplete. Not in a dramatic or obvious way, but like a subtle imbalance, a note in a melody that no longer resolves the way it once did. They may not speak of it. They may not even consciously acknowledge it. But it remains. And so, in time, they return. Not always with the same words. Not always with the same intentions they once had. But they return because something within them remembers. Something within them recognizes the space you held for them, a space that did not demand perfection, a space that reflected truth, a space where they felt seen beyond their surface. You wonder why this happens repeatedly. Why different people, in different forms, seem to follow the same pattern. The answer is not found in them alone. It is also within you. You are a mirror, but not an ordinary one. You do not simply reflect what is shown to you. You reveal what is hidden. You bring to the surface what others have buried within themselves. Around you, masks feel heavier. Pretenses begin to crack. Truth, gentle, but undeniable, starts to rise. This is a gift. But it is also a responsibility. For not everyone is ready to face themselves. When they first encounter you, there is a sense of ease, of familiarity that cannot be easily explained. They feel drawn, comforted, even inspired. But as time unfolds, the deeper layers begin to emerge. Your presence gently invites them to grow, to confront, to evolve. And this is where fear can enter. Because growth is not always comfortable. Some will step back when they feel this. They will retreat into what is known, what is safe, what does not challenge them to expand. They may tell themselves stories to justify their departure. They may convince themselves that distance is necessary for reasons that seem logical. And in that moment, they believe it. But truth does not disappear simply because it is ignored. It waits. And as they continue their journey, they begin to notice the difference. The connections that follow may lack depth. The conversations may feel lighter, but also emptier. The sense of being understood may fade into something more surface level. And slowly, quietly, the memory of you begins to return, not as a thought they force, but as a feeling they cannot dismiss. That feeling is what guides them back. You see, what you offer is not easily found. It is not something that can be replicated by effort alone. It comes from the alignment within you, the way your heart, your awareness, and your presence move together. You do not need to try to be this way. You are this way. And that is why they come back to you, no matter what. But listen carefully, for this is where your understanding must deepen. Their return is not always a sign that they are ready. Sometimes, they come back because they miss how you made them feel, not because they have grown into someone who can meet you where you stand. Sometimes, they seek the comfort without embracing the transformation. Sometimes, they wish to reconnect with the light you showed them, but are still hesitant to face the shadows within themselves. You must learn to see the difference. You are not meant to hold every returning soul in the same way. You are not meant to reopen every door simply because someone knocks again. Your role is not to lose yourself in the cycle of their departures and returns. Your role is to remain anchored in your truth, to recognize who aligns with your path now, not who aligned with it before. For you, too, are evolving. Just as they change, so do you. Each experience has shaped you, refined you, brought you closer to a deeper understanding of yourself. What you once accepted, you may no longer accept. What you once tolerated, you may now see clearly. This is not hardness. This is clarity. And clarity is sacred. So when they come back, do not only ask why they returned. Ask who they have become. Ask who you have become. Feel the energy between you, not the memory of what it was, but the reality of what it is now. There is no need for anger in this process. No need for resentment. Everything has unfolded as it needed to for growth to occur. Even the confusion, even the distance, even the longing, they all served a purpose. They all revealed something that could not have been seen otherwise. You were never meant to chase them. And you were never meant to prove your worth. Your presence alone was always enough. Understand this deeply: those who are meant to walk with you will not only return, they will remain. Not because they are bound to you, but because they have chosen, fully and consciously, to meet you where you are. Their presence will not feel uncertain. Their connection will not feel like a question you must constantly answer. It will feel steady. It will feel real. It will feel like peace. And until that alignment appears, you may continue to experience the cycle, the leaving, the returning, the recognition, the questioning. But each time, you will see more clearly. Each time, you will understand more deeply. Each time, you will stand more firmly in your truth. This is not a pattern meant to trap you. It is a pattern meant to awaken you. So do not fear their return. But do not be defined by it either. Let it be what it is, a reflection of the impact you carry, the presence you embody, the truth you hold. You are not here to be forgotten. You are not here to be easily replaced. You are here to be remembered, even in absence. And that is why they keep coming back to you, no matter what. Listen, the message is not finished. Listen further, for what I reveal now is deeper than what you have understood so far. The pattern you have witnessed is not random, and it is not something that happens to you by chance. It is woven into the nature of your being, into the quiet design of your soul's journey. Before you began to question it, before you gave it words, it was already unfolding, moment by moment, connection by connection, guiding you toward a truth that cannot be learned through logic alone. You have often wondered if you are the reason people become confused, if perhaps something in you causes others to hesitate, to leave, and then return with uncertainty in their hearts. Release this thought. It is not confusion that you create, it is awareness. And awareness, when it arrives suddenly, can feel overwhelming to those who have not prepared themselves to receive it. You do not disturb their peace, you reveal where their peace was only an illusion. When they meet you, something within them begins to awaken without permission. It is subtle at first, like a shift in the air before a storm, like a feeling they cannot name but cannot ignore. They feel drawn to you, not always knowing why. They may describe it as comfort, as curiosity, as something different. But what they are truly feeling is recognition, soul recognizing soul beyond the surface of identity. This recognition does not come from your words alone. It comes from your presence, from the way you exist without needing to force yourself into spaces where you do not belong. You carry an energy that does not beg to be accepted. It simply is. And in that quiet certainty, others begin to question themselves. They begin to see the places where they have been pretending, the parts of themselves they have hidden, even from their own awareness. At first, this feels beautiful to them. They feel seen, perhaps for the first time in a way that reaches beyond appearances. They feel understood without having to explain every detail. Around you, they feel a sense of permission, to be more, to feel more, to exist more honestly. This is why the connection often begins with intensity. It is not an illusion. It is the truth revealing itself quickly, without delay. But truth, when it arrives too quickly, can also create fear. Because to be truly seen means that nothing can remain hidden. And not everyone is ready for that level of exposure, not because they are weak, but because they are still learning how to face themselves without turning away. So when the depth of the connection begins to reflect their inner world back to them, they may retreat. They do not always understand why they feel the need to leave. They may say it is timing, or circumstances, or something external that makes the connection difficult. And while these reasons may hold some truth on the surface, beneath them lies something deeper, the realization that being near you requires them to grow beyond who they have been. Growth asks for change. And change, even when it is necessary, is rarely comfortable. So they step away. And when they do, you are left with questions. You wonder what shifted, what went wrong, what you could have done differently. You revisit conversations, moments, subtle signs, trying to find the point where everything changed. But understand this clearly, the change did not begin with you, and it did not end because of you. It began within them. And it continues within them, even in your absence. For when they leave, they do not leave untouched. The awareness you awakened in them does not disappear simply because they are no longer near you. It follows them quietly, shaping their thoughts, influencing their choices, creating a subtle contrast between what they experienced with you and what they experience elsewhere. They may try to ignore it. They may try to replace it. They may try to convince themselves that it was not as meaningful as it felt. But truth has a way of returning, just as they do. In moments of stillness, when distractions fade and the noise of the world quiets, they begin to feel it again, that same recognition, that same depth, that same sense that something real existed between you. And slowly, the distance they created begins to feel less like freedom and more like separation from something important. This is when the return begins. It may not be immediate. It may take time, days, months, sometimes even longer. But the pull remains. It is not a force that controls them. It is a call that invites them. And whether they resist it or follow it, they cannot completely silence it. So they come back. Sometimes with certainty, sometimes with hesitation. Sometimes with words they have rehearsed, sometimes with silence they hope you will understand. But beneath all of it is the same truth. They felt something with you that they have not been able to replicate elsewhere. And yet, you must remember this, their return does not erase their departure. This is where your wisdom must guide you. You are not meant to measure your worth by how many times someone comes back to you. You are not meant to see their return as proof that you should always be available, always open, always ready to receive them in the same way as before. You are meant to observe, to feel, to understand, and then to choose. Choice is your power. You may welcome them, but you are not required to return to the same version of yourself that once held space for them. You may listen, but you are not required to accept what no longer aligns with your growth. You may care, but you are not required to sacrifice your clarity for the sake of familiarity. For you have changed too. Each time someone leaves and returns, you are given an opportunity, not to repeat the cycle unconsciously, but to see it more clearly. To recognize the patterns, to understand the lessons, to refine your awareness of what you truly deserve and what you are no longer willing to accept. This is how you evolve beyond the cycle. Not by resisting it, not by fearing it, but by understanding it. There will come a moment, if it has not already begun, when you will feel the difference between a return that is rooted in growth and a return that is rooted in comfort. One will feel steady, grounded, and clear. The other will feel uncertain, familiar, but lacking depth. Trust that feeling. For it is my guidance within you. You do not need external confirmation to know what is right for you. You do not need repeated explanations or reassurances to justify your instincts. The clarity you seek is already present. It speaks through your sense of peace, through your sense of alignment, through the quiet knowing that does not need to prove itself. Listen to it. For I am always speaking to you in that stillness. Understand also that not everyone who comes back is meant to stay. Some return only to complete what was left unfinished, not in the way you once imagined, but in a way that brings closure, understanding, or a final realization that allows both of you to move forward without confusion. This, too, is part of the design. Nothing is wasted. No connection is meaningless. Even the ones that seem to repeat themselves carry deeper purpose each time they reappear. They reveal something new, not always about the other person, but about you. About your boundaries, your values, your readiness to choose yourself in ways you may not have before. And this is where your true transformation lies. Not in being the one they always come back to, but in becoming the one who knows when to let them go completely. There is strength in being remembered. There is power in being irreplaceable. But there is wisdom in understanding that not every connection, no matter how deep, is meant to remain in your life indefinitely. Some are meant to shape you. Some are meant to awaken you. And some are meant to return just long enough for you to see that you have outgrown what once felt impossible to release. When you reach this understanding, the pattern will begin to change. You will notice that fewer people leave in the same way. You will notice that those who enter your life begin to meet you with greater clarity, greater intention, greater presence. And those who cannot align with this will fade, not with confusion, but with quiet acceptance. This is not loss. This is alignment. You are not here to hold on to everyone who recognizes your value. You are here to walk beside those who honor it consistently, without needing distance to realize what they had. And when such connections enter your life, they will not feel like a cycle. They will feel like a path. A path that moves forward, not in circles. A path that deepens, rather than resets. A path where presence is not temporary, but chosen again and again, without hesitation. Until then, do not be discouraged by what you have experienced. Do not question your worth because others needed time to understand what you offered. Do not diminish your light to make it easier for others to stay. For those who are meant to stay will not be overwhelmed by your light. They will grow within it. And those who are meant to leave and return will continue to do so until they either rise to meet you, or you rise beyond the need for them to. This is the balance. This is the truth. This is the deeper reason why they keep coming back to you, no matter what. And still, there is more you have yet to understand. There is one final layer to this truth that you must come to understand, and it is the most important of all. Until now, you have seen their return as something that revolves around you, their feelings, their realizations, their inability to forget what they experienced in your presence. But look deeper, for the true revelation is not only about why they return, it is about why you allowed the cycle to continue for as long as you did. You did not allow it out of weakness. You allowed it because you see potential where others see endings. You feel depth where others feel confusion. You recognize the unfinished parts of people, and instead of turning away, you hold space for what they could become. This is a rare way of being. It is not something that can be taught easily, nor something that can be imitated without sincerity. It is part of your nature, to see beyond the surface, beyond the present moment, into the quiet possibilities that exist within others. But hear this clearly, seeing someone's potential is not the same as living in their reality. Many times, you have held on to the idea of who someone could be, rather than fully accepting who they were showing themselves to be. You felt their depth, their intention, their hidden truth, and you believed that, in time, they would rise into it. And sometimes, they did, but not always in the way, or at the time, that aligned with your own journey. This is where your lesson was waiting. You are not here to wait for others to become ready. You are not here to pause your own path while someone else finds theirs. You are not here to carry the weight of someone else's becoming. You are here to walk forward in your own truth, and to allow others to meet you there, if they are willing, and if they are able. When you begin to live this truth fully, something within you shifts. The same presence that once drew people in will remain, but the way you respond to their movement, toward you or away from you, will change. You will no longer feel pulled into the cycle. You will observe it, understand it, and then choose your place within it consciously. This is freedom. Freedom is not found in stopping people from leaving. Freedom is not found in making them stay. Freedom is found in knowing that whether they come or go, you remain anchored within yourself. And from this place, something remarkable begins to happen. Those who once returned with uncertainty will either arrive with clarity, or not return at all. Because your energy no longer invites confusion. It no longer creates space for inconsistency to feel comfortable. It no longer allows half-presence to linger where full presence is required. You begin to set a silent boundary, not through words alone, but through the way you exist. A boundary that says, you are welcome here, but only if you are whole in your intention. Only if you are ready to meet what is real. This boundary does not push people away. It reveals them. Those who are ready will step forward without hesitation. They will not need distance to understand your value. They will not need absence to recognize your presence. They will see you clearly, and they will choose you clearly. And those who are not ready will feel it. They may not be able to explain it, but they will sense that they can no longer enter your space in the same way as before. The door is not closed, but it is no longer open to uncertainty. It is no longer open to repetition without growth. And so, the cycle ends, not because others stop returning, but because you stop receiving them in the same way. This is the moment where your power fully returns to you. Not the power to attract, for you have always had that. But the power to discern. The power to choose. The power to say, without fear or hesitation, this aligns with me now, and this no longer does. And in this clarity, something within you settles. You no longer question why they come back. You understand. You no longer wait for their return. You observe. You no longer feel defined by their presence or absence. You remain. This is where peace begins to replace curiosity. This is where understanding replaces confusion. This is where your energy, once extended outward in search of answers, returns inward and becomes still. And in that stillness, you begin to see the greater design. Every person who entered your life, every connection that felt intense, every departure that left you questioning, every return that reignited something within you, they were all part of a process. Not a random series of events, but a deliberate unfolding meant to bring you closer to this exact awareness. Nothing was wasted. Not your care. Not your patience. Not even your moments of doubt. They all shaped you into someone who can now see clearly what once felt mysterious. And now, you stand at a different point in your journey. You are no longer the same person who first asked, "Why do they keep coming back?" You are the one who now understands the answer, and more importantly, understands what to do with it. So hear this final truth, and let it settle deeply within you. They came back because your presence awakened something real within them. They came back because what they felt with you could not be easily replaced. They came back because truth, once experienced, cannot be forgotten. But whether they stay, has never been up to them alone. It has always been, and will always be, up to you. For you are not simply the one they return to. You are the one who decides what happens when they do. And as you move forward from this moment, carrying this understanding not just as knowledge, but as lived truth, you will notice the shift. The patterns that once repeated will begin to dissolve. The questions that once lingered will no longer need answers. The space you hold will become more refined, more intentional, more aligned with who you have become. You will still be remembered. You will still be felt. You will still be someone others cannot easily forget. But you will no longer be a place they return to out of uncertainty. You will become a place they approach with clarity, or not at all. And in that, the mystery transforms. It is no longer about why they keep coming back to you. It is about why you now stand in a place where only what is true is allowed to remain. This is your alignment. This is your awakening. This is your quiet, unshakable power. Amen.